rise and reach for the stars, wild ones. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Capricorn tarot reading for March 2021. Oh, Capricorn, you owe me. You owe the animal allies, because for you this month, your zodiac sign is, you're very fortunate. Because why? Because the bee, which is the Wheel of Fortune in my Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, has buzzed in for you with some fantastic energy and medicine and news, and it's gonna be amazing. So, you know, Capricorns, your motto is I use, and you're very level-headed, and you're very you can be seen as very emotional, sometimes cold, and you're really not that way. It's just that you really prefer things to be orderly, structured, regulated. But this month, you are going to have to keep going with the flow rather than having everything, rather than micromanaging everything like you prefer, because B is buzzing around you, right? And that gives you the chance, it might also give you the pants, but it definitely gives you the chance to learn the power of believing in accomplishing the seemingly impossible. And why that's important is you guys can be so rooted in your earth energy that you forget to dream, you forget to fly. And it just, even when people bring things like that up, you're like, huh, what does that even mean? Or you might even eschew it. You might like, yeah, that's for pie in the sky dreamers. No, dreams are for you too. And we see that with bee as a spirit totem power animal. Bumblebees should not be able to fly. Their bodies are not aerodynamically designed to fly. It's a scientific anomaly that they can. But here's what we believe. Bees don't know they're not supposed to be able to fly, and so they do. And it's because they have evolved to create a special way that they flap their wings and a special number of times that they flap their wings to be able to give them liftoff. So when something this month is gonna seem that it can't be achieved or it can't be done, and like in your Capricorn facts, I need the facts, I need all the data, I need to be organized, I need to be this, you're going to be asked to take a step out in your beliefs. And you're going to be called on to believe something that looks like it's not true, but you'll be the one that figures out how to make the unachievable very achievable. And that is what the Wheel of Fortune is all about. So you can call on the archetype of the Wheel of Fortune, you can call on it anytime, but especially during the month of March 2021. Now, remember, bees are able to defy the odds, and you're being called to understand, so are you. So defying the odds is going to be a really big thing for you this month. Now, bees' role in pollination and the production of honey also symbolizes concepts near and dear to your heart. Capricorn, you're such a collaborator and a worker bee, and you understand the importance of collaboration in being productive. And my gosh, you're good at it. You can just talk to anybody and get a whole group of people to be cohesive. It mystifies this Scorpio every time. But remember, in your zodiac tarot reading for today, the bee is corresponding to the Wheel of Fortune, and that's going to be a reminder to be open to fortunate changes and and look for benevolent synchronicities that are working in your favor. Even something that seems this small, you're like, oh, that's probably just a really minor coinky-dink. No, it's not. It's a humongous sign. So pay attention to the humongous signs. Now, two planets to keep an eye on for you, Capricorn, are Saturn, your planetary ruler, which is your planetary ruler, and Pluto. And that's because Pluto has been transitioning your sign since 2017 and continues to wrap up his time here. That said, he's gonna, Pluto's gonna Pluto. What is wrong with me today? Pluto. He's gonna linger a bit in the final degrees of Capricorn for some months to come. And then Pluto is also going to continue to generate change and maybe even some discomfort as he beckons you to confront, your fear and unearth the secrets. Oh my gosh, you just do not, you don't want people to know, mostly about you. You hardly ever tell people anything about yourself. And that may be the secrets that are being spoken about, or it might have something to do with a situation or anything. But anywhere that there's secrets that you're keeping that start flaring your spidey senses out to be able to recognize those secrets. And again, with yourself, what that means is like, sorry to be like so dramatic about this, but it's the first thing that comes to mind. Let's say that you suspect, your partner is not really all in the relationship, or they might be stepping out on you, or Maybe you even suspect that you're just not really into this relationship anymore or whatever, but you've been hiding it from yourself, hiding it from your partner. So facing immutable truths is going to be a truth for you during this March 2021. Now, Pluto's major aspects to the other planets this month include a square to the moon in Libra on the 2nd and a trine to Mars in Taurus on the 3rd. So during these early days of March, you might feel emotionally restless, which is hard for you because that's emotions. So just sit with them, know that it's okay. But also you might be compelled to create harmony and peace in a relationship. Yet, unless you're digging below the surface, and this is going to harken back to what was just said about keeping secrets from yourself, such harmony may elude you. And so, Capricorns love it when things are balanced. But they love it when things are solid beneath their feet. So, you may have to face the loss of support from someone you previously counted on. If you're pulling more than your fair share of weight in a relationship, it's just going to be untenable and unsustainable now, and you're going to be in a place where you're not only do you have to make a decision, but you're going to want to make a decision, and that change is very likely to take place in March. So Capricorn, you may also find the courage and assertiveness to have a difficult conversation with a friend or peer, something you might have previously avoided with them, especially related to work and finances. That really might be essential for you to face now. So, throughout the rest of the month, your planetary ruler Saturn remains in square with Uranus and Taurus. That's, again, financial difficulties might be unearthed, or further complications might be, or further complicated by like changes that are truly out of your control. But a surprise announcement may linger unresolved and still creating confusion. But yes, does it create stress and insecurity? But again, it's Wheel of Fortune. Just ride through those times. And once you get around the wheel, it's going to be okay. So, like B, remain open-minded to achieving the impossible and the unthinkable. And at the same time, let go of the need to micromanage everything right now. The puzzles that are not solved now likely won't be solved for a few weeks. I know you can't stand that. It makes you nuts. But don't let the anxiety distract you. Those changes that are taking, they're causing the rumblings and are taking some time to settle out. There's a reason for all of the shakeup, which you'll come conscious of after it's all said and done, and you see what a great situation what great situation it is going to be. Now, around the 9th and the 10th, you might feel more emotionally triggered than usual, especially when those changes and disruptions impact your financial plans or sense of security. But again, this emotional roller coaster is very brief. While the cause and underlying issues contributing to tensions won't likely be resolved during this time, by the 19th, just in time for the shift to spring, you might feel a relief and release of tension. So during this time, planets that were previously crowding Aquarius are now in Pisces, and that doesn't make the problems completely disappear, but can give you a sense of having more breathing room or more time to go through your thinking process, because you hate to be rushed. We know this. At the same time, though, Venus is in Pisces, so romantic, creative, compassionate, and dreamy. Oh my gosh, it's a really favorable sextile to Pluto and Capricorn. It gives you a little bit more of a sentimental, compassionate, and romantic ideal that can soften the intensity of Pluto and Capricorn now. And though you still might be called to deal with a major change or loss during this time, this will make it easier to find spiritual meaning and healing through this course of change or loss. So just lean into it. It will be okay. Now, by the 20th, here we go, Wheel of Fortune. Saturn is forming a lucky trine to the North Node in Gemini, and the North Node is also joined by a conjunction with Mars and the Moon. This can feel like a super lucky day, or actually a luckier day, because you should have a lot of really happy and lucky days during March with the Wheel of Fortune, giving you support and inspiring you. So you're still embattled with a square to Uranus and Taurus, but you may feel a stronger sense that your mission, purpose, and personal advancement is somehow served by these changes, even if you didn't initiate them. So for instance, let's say that a loss or change to work may feel like a necessary step leading you closer to an opportunity that's like more toward your mission. And just like bee making honey, it's a really, really good time for you to find the sweetness in even the most difficult situations. By the 24th of March, 2021, Capricorn, your zodiac sign, here's where we go. Saturn is in an opposition to the moon in Leo, and it's really, really, really important that, during this time, confront how changes are happening on a global or social level. Confront how that forces you to contend with the changes that you need to make on an individual level, because the things that are calling to you to make the change really will impact everything globally. It may seem like a lot of nutting to you, but I'm telling you, even if you decide to bring brownies to the office one day and there's some person you haven't seen, maybe a consultant or whatever, and they're having a meeting with whatever, and you're like, hey, would you like a home-baked brownie? They eat it, and it's like the whole best brownie they've ever had, or it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be the gift that someone was generous with them, or brownies reminded them of something, and all of a sudden this meeting goes fantastically because of that, and then you find out that this person has created an object that's going to change the world, do better for animals, whatever, in a great way, and you were the catalyst for that just by baking brownies. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, so at the time of the full moon in Libra on the 28th, the moon is also making a lucky trine to Saturn in Aquarius and the Mars North Node in Gemini, which creates another lucky air trine, just as it was at the beginning of the month. So look, be a Capricorn this month. Da, 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 luck, be a Capricorn this month. What musical is that from? Free arc deck to somebody who knows that musical, and you better not look it up on the internet. Okay, hit me up in the comments. I'll send you a free deck. Okay, where was I? Okay, so just remember, when you're wrapping up this month, the bee is also a creature of the air element. And when we're talking about the air element, we're talking about communication and messages from spirit that come to you on the wind. We're talking about a thoughtfulness, an open mind, a creativity, and innovation. It's really, really going to serve you well at this time, even if it takes you outside of your comfort zone and sacred traditions. And one more thing about bee energy. Remember, they are the sacred keepers of the golden honey. And gold is the color of all things wealthy, of all things, just for your senses, very sensuous, and in all ways, with all of your senses. And it's also, bee is also a great symbolism, has great symbolic meaning about the sun. So there might be something very important for you this month about getting out into the sun. So remember, luck, be a Capricorn tonight. Da, 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 da. What musical is that from? I will send you a free Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. But until then, keep reaching for the stars, do good for animals, and stay wild.